Alright, so today I want to talk about flows. And I'm filming this from a less than ideal location, but I've managed to get the microphone set up, so hopefully this is filmed all good. But basically, yeah, I want to talk about flows today. Flows, in the way that I use it to do my crypto analysis, is probably the single most, if not like top three, most important of the fundamental analysis tools that I use, right? The understanding of flows and applying it to a coin I find is really, really important. And the way I like to do crypto is I like to start first with analyzing where is the money going to flow. And once I know where the money is going to flow, I like to look at what assets are the best positioned to capture this flow of money. Now, there's obviously other ways you can approach fundamental analysis. You could just do purely finding projects that have a world-class team and a world-class founder, and then once you found those, you find the ones that fit all the other criteria. Or you can start with the flows, like I said before, and then you just identify the best coins that pick up that flow. So, for example, if you know all the money's going to flow to Coinbase and then it's going to go to Base, then you find the best coin positioned on Base for that flow, right? Because you're expecting a massive inflow of capital. What's the best project to capture that inflow, right? So there's a number of different ways that you can approach fundamental analysis from. I tend to like doing it from a flows first perspective. And the concept of flows is basically about where is the money moving into and where is the money moving out of. But particularly so to make money, it's about where is the money flowing into. Okay, so what is inflows? Well, inflows is like people moving money to one particular chain, one particular sector, or even a particular coin, or even just crypto as a whole, right? It's the movement of money into something. And then what would an outflow be? Well, an outflow would be something like the team selling tokens, emissions, maybe stable coins leaving, like the stablecoin market cap's falling, or maybe any of these things that are where money is actually flowing out of something. So let's say a certain sector is underperforming, like inflation, so the VCs unlock their tokens and then they sell them into fiat currency. These are all examples of more like an outflow of capital. And so you have to basically find which coins will have the most inflows and the least amount of outflows in order for you to make lots of money, right? Because you buy low, sell high. You buy when there's not much inflows, you sell when there's tons of inflows. Okay? And look, sentiment, narratives, on-chain data, the team, the community, all this shit is just telling you where the money's going to flow. Okay? At the end of the day, you can look at all these things like the sentiment, whatever, blah, 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 blah. But all of that is just telling you where the money is going to flow, right? And if you want to know what to buy, the ultimate question that you need to ask yourself is, where's the money going, right? If you know where the money is going to flow, you will make money. So look, all these tools, right? This is all the different shit you can use technically or fundamentally to pick an asset. All of it is just dictating the flows. And I think Alex Kruger has a good post here on more so related to the stock market to explain this concept. So you can see here that the blue is the stock market price and the orange or yellow, whatever color you would call that, is the liquidity. And you can see that the liquidity has been going down and price has been going up. And you can see that liquidity and price are not one-to-one correlated. A lot of people tell you that you need liquidity, or like price is dictated by liquidity. To an extent, liquidity is important because liquidity will tell you how much money there is sloshing around. If they're pulling back the liquidity of like how much money there is, then that's tightening. They're trying to slow the economy. You could argue that is it's bad for price. But you need to understand that the market is about flows. Where is the money flowing, or where is the money going to flow? And what you're going to find is that even though the liquidity is falling, price can be going up because markets are forward-looking, right? So let's say right now the liquidity is dropping and the price is going up. That might be because people are expecting the liquidity drain to stop soon, right? Because people front-run bad news events ending. If the bad news ends next week, people will buy today in anticipation of the bad news ending. And you determine what the market is doing based off of the flows. Where is the money going? That is ultimately going to tell you what price is doing, or where is the money going to go. Okay? So it all comes back to flows. Flows is like the fundamental core underpinning of how you sort of dictate like where the money, like how to make money from things. Okay, you buy something, you make money because more money came in than came out, more demand than supply. Okay, and I guess another way to look at flows is like inflow and outflow. It's demand and supply, right? What is demand? It's people wanting to buy something. What are inflows? It's people wanting to put money into something. It's the same way to explain the same word. Okay. Now, markets at their core, as I just said, it's a meeting point, right? It's just people meeting who have something, on one side and something on the other side, and they want to swap it to each other. Okay, and depending on the demand and the supply will dictate the price. Okay, inflows as buyers, outflows as sellers. So let's talk about the importance of flows, especially so in crypto. If you know where the money will flow, you will inevitably profit. So the reason I like using flows in analysis is because even if, let's say, you pick a bad coin in a sector that gets a lot of inflow of capital, you will still make a lot of money. All right, if you focus solely on knowing where the money is going to flow and you buy assets that will pick up this flow of capital, it doesn't matter if the coin has holes in it, if the ship has holes in it, if the coin has a bad founder or it has a shit community. It doesn't matter. These things will always go up. And just because the team is good doesn't mean you make money, right? There's a ton of good team projects like ICP, Internet Protocol. If you buy any of these, what's another one? Something like Matic, right? You buy Matic because the team's great. Well, your entry, if you bought Matic because the team was great a year ago, has lost you money because what you didn't understand was the importance of flows. What was the flows telling you 1 year ago? Or maybe not a year ago, like 2 years ago, right? You could have argued that the flows were showing that Matic was not a coin you'd want to own. And so just because you understand a coin has a good team doesn't mean you can make money from it. Like, let me show you a real life example of what I mean. Okay, so Matic has been performing pretty terribly. It's up 2x from the bottom, which has massively underperformed the entire market. But not only that, Matic's down quite a bit from its all-time high of about $3. Okay, so if you bought Matic up here because the tech's great, the team's great, that's what your argument was. You've now lost a bunch of money. If you would have first looked at it from the perspective of flows, where is the money flowing? You could have understood that back in 2022, you could see the Federal Reserve and governments around the world are doing quantitative tightening, all these other related fundamental catalysts in relation to understanding flows. You could have argued that it probably isn't the time to buy Matic. Okay, so if you buy an asset in the right sector, you will make money. And this is also related to business. If you build a business in a booming sector, your business can have a lot of things wrong with it. For example, you might not have the best landing page, you might not have the best content strategy, but if it's a booming sector, every business makes money. Okay? Now, you don't want to just be the guy that wins because you're in a great sector. You want to be the guy that wins regardless of what happens. But still, if you pick the sector where the most money is going to flow, you can sort of fuck up the coin selection and do really well still. So whenever this is why flows are so important for me. So whenever I want to, consider, which coin I want to buy, these are questions that I ask myself, okay? I always like to know who my exit liquidity is. So with Toshi, for example, I always reference this example in this course, I know, but it's just the most recent example. Toshi, what is my exit liquidity? Well, I know that at the end of the bull run, people like meme coins the best. New investors love meme coins. So why don't I buy today what coin people are going to love in a year from now or 2 years from now, whenever it is? Also, my exit liquidity is going to enter at the end of the bull run through Coinbase, and they're probably going to get sent from Coinbase to Base because Coinbase is going to set up some sort of incentive programs likely in order to encourage them to go to Base. Okay, and what does everyone want to buy on Base if that's where the money is? Okay, well, they're probably going to want to buy the meme coin, like I just said. That's what they buy at the end of the bull run. So just purely based off an understanding of who my exit liquidity is, I'm able to buy the asset which is going to best appeal to the people I'm going to sell to before it's even happened, right? Who am I selling to? This is a really, really important question because when you're deciding to buy something, you're buying it because you think someone's going to buy it from you at a higher price later on. So you have to ask yourself, what type of person is going to be buying from you at a price higher than the price that you bought at? Why would someone buy something from you that's more expensive than what you bought it for? Right? That's a weird concept. You think it's easier to make money, but you have to understand that you make money from someone buying something higher than you bought it at. You want to make it 20x on your money? Well, you need someone to look at a coin that's gone up 20x and go, this is a great coin to buy. There's not many people in the market who are going to look at something up 20x in fucking 6 months and go, yep, that's a great idea. I need to buy this, right? A lot of dumb people at the end of the bull run are going to do that. And so that's when you identify in your brain, okay, so if I expect this coin to go up 100x, I need someone who's going to want to buy this coin up 100x. And those people are the dumb people at the end of the bull run. So that's when I start seeing dumb people get in at the end of the bull run, that's when you need to sell, because your exit liquidity is currently in the market. Your exit liquidity has came. The people you want to sell to are here. And that makes it easy as well to identify exits, because the hardest part of crypto is selling. If you know your exit liquidity, if you know the flow of money you need to see in order for you to want to sell, then you can easily just time an exit. Not easily, but you can more easily time an exit, right? Oh, when's the top? When's the top? Well, you know that you need a certain person to sell to. So it's not about when is the top. It's about when is the person that I want to sell to here. And once you've sold to them, maybe they take the price higher than your exit. But that's okay, because you just wanted to hold it until the dumb people that you wanted to sell to came. And then once they've got it, they can do whatever the fuck they want with it. But you're out. And that's totally fine. And that's how I would approach it. You also need to ask yourself, what's going to cause money to flow into my coin or sector? So whenever you analyze a coin, genuinely ask yourself, why is the money going to flow here? Why here and not somewhere else? Why this particular coin and not another coin? And so, for example, let's say you're investing in AI coins. You would say, well, AI is huge in the stock market and it's hard for people to invest into AI-related companies in the startup phase. So crypto is the best way for retail to speculate on this AI trend as it becomes more and more popular, because you can't buy anything AI unless it's NVIDIA at $1 trillion market cap or whatever. Right? That's the argument. The flow of money will come in because it's the only way that retail can speculate on AI. For meme coins, well, I like Toshi because Coinbase is going to win this bull run because they've really positioned themselves well, and Binance and FTX are sort of dying off, and Coinbase is like the biggest player now. They're going to send all their users to Base. They're all going to buy Toshi, right? So that's what's causing the inflow. What else? Let's think about Solana. What will cause money to flow to Solana? Well, Solana is the best chain in terms of fast, cheap, and easy to use. It's got the best user experience, and it's got the highest amount of developers, meaning it's got the best ecosystem-related projects of any chain except for Ethereum. It's, like I said, very cheap, but it's also simple in terms of you don't need to bridge to a layer 2, so it has a lot less complexity than trying to use Ethereum's ecosystem. It also has really, really good marketing. I think it's a better marketed chain than most of these other competitors. You know, the normies are going to love Solana because it's the one that they find first, generally speaking, versus something like C or Aptos or whatever. They're going to find Solana first. And that's why, you know, that would be an argument for Solana, okay? And you also have to ask what's going to have the least outflows. I think this is the least important question, but it's still important. So let's say you buy a coin that has like 300% a year inflation and it kicks off in a month. Well, that's a little bit concerning because you have a lot of outflows because you have a lot of money entering the system, which is, you know, potentially going to be sold. Maybe it's emissions from miners. Maybe it's VCs getting unlocked. You know, is this a big, heavy VC coin? You know, is there likely going to be a lot of outflows because the VCs just want to sell at any price when they get unlocked? You know, that's the questions you need to ask yourself. So before picking any individual coins, I identify the sector. Remember I said sector, then coin. What are the sectors I'm most bullish on in terms of flows? Well, these are my 3 most bullish sectors. Meme coins on new and upcoming chains, new L1 protocols, so things like C, Monad, and any high beta asset capturing flows from Coinbase. Okay, these are my 3 favorite sectors going into this bull run. Now, this is filmed in January 2024. In 6 months, my answer might be different, and it probably will be. I made a video on YouTube about a year ago saying that one of the big sectors for this bull run is NFT exchange tokens. The thesis took 3 months, and it fully played out. And then that whole thing just died off. I made 6 figures from the Blur airdrop, but then that was the only way to really capitalize on that trend. Everything else was shit or died off. And so if someone watches that video now, they're like, oh, so is this still a thing? And I'm like, no, bro, that trend died ages ago. So look, this whole fucking trend here could die off, but you know, meme coins and UL1s, that's been a trend that's been making money for 7 years, 6-7 years. After ETH came out, right, all the competitors have been pumping. And I think, you know, the Coinbase thing, maybe that's a bit more short term. Now, why do I like these sectors? Well, like I said, Ethereum came out, and then there's all these cheap competitors that have been